Once hailed as pop's quirky powerhouse, Katy Perry now finds herself at the center of a full-blown career crisis. And according to fans, it's all self-inflicted. From failed singles and bizarre public stunts to legal battles involving dying nuns, Katy's once whimsical brand has taken a nosedive into chaos. But how did one of pop's most influential hitmakers go from chart-topping queen to internet cautionary tale? The unraveling didn't happen overnight, but one song may have cracked it wide open. Katy Perry thought Woman's World would be her triumphant return, a bold feminist anthem to launch a new era. But instead of a chart-topping comeback, the single landed with a thud. Critics called it generic, uninspired, even lazy. Fans were confused by its flat lyrics and outdated production, wondering how a message about female empowerment could sound so hollow. But what truly set the internet ablaze wasn't just the song's quality, it was the revelation that Dr. Luke, the music producer accused by Keisha of years of abuse, was heavily involved in the track. For many, that was the ultimate betrayal. How could Katy, who once championed women's strength, turn to a man who had been at the center of one of the music industry's biggest Me Too scandals? The outrage was swift and brutal. Fans flooded social media with accusations of hypocrisy, and even longtime supporters began distancing themselves. What was meant to be an empowering rallying cry had become a public relations disaster. And as the backlash intensified, one question echoed across timelines and fan forums. Had Katy Perry just sabotaged her own comeback? As Woman's World crumbled under public scrutiny, panic reportedly set in behind the scenes. Industry insiders revealed that Katy Perry and her team immediately went into damage control mode, holding frantic meetings and demanding urgent changes to her upcoming album, 143. According to leaks, Katy was blindsided by just how badly the single was received, not just by critics, but by her own fanbase. Social media was flooded with disappointed reactions, with fans calling the track outdated, tone-deaf, and disconnected from today's pop landscape. What was supposed to be a confident reintroduction turned into a glaring reminder that she might be completely out of step with what listeners actually want. Sources claim she began second-guessing the album's direction, urging producers to rework multiple tracks and delay future singles. Some say she's scrambling to swap out songs altogether. Others hint at full-scale rewrites, last-minute collaborations, and rebranding strategies to make the rollout feel intentional rather than reactionary. The vibe? Pure chaos. And what's worse, fans can smell the desperation. The once polished pop star, known for her glossy visuals and arena anthems, now appeared to be grasping at straws. Instead of a carefully planned comeback, 143 is starting to look like a rushed patch job, a project built on fear, not vision. One industry insider put it bluntly, she didn't listen to anyone. She thought she could recapture her old magic, and now she's scrambling to fix what she broke. And while Katy may be reworking the music, there's a deeper issue looming. Has she completely lost touch with the culture, the sound, and the audience that once made her a global phenomenon? While Katy's team tried to rework the album behind closed doors, a new controversy was already boiling over, and this one struck at the heart of her public persona. Fans and critics alike began accusing her of performative feminism, calling Woman's World a hollow anthem dressed up in empowerment buzzwords, but empty of substance. The messaging, centered around resilience, female strength, and self-love, was completely undercut by the team behind it. Dr. Luke wasn't just a footnote or a casual contributor. He was a core creative force on the track. The same man who Keisha publicly accused of emotional and physical abuse was now profiting off a feminist anthem. The contradiction was impossible to ignore, and although the music video tried to mask it with appearances by high-profile female influencers like Trisha Paytas, fans quickly pointed out that the project was directed, conceptualized, and produced almost entirely by men. To many, the visual felt like a glossy distraction, a smoke and mirrors performance of empowerment that still upheld the very patriarchal dynamics it claimed to reject. It was the textbook definition of faux feminism, aesthetic over action. Instead of amplifying women's voices, the song's profits and creative credit were going to a man many believed had no place on a project like this. The backlash intensified when Katy appeared on Call Her Daddy and tried to downplay the outrage, casually brushing off concerns by saying Dr. Luke was just one of many collaborators. But for listeners who remembered Katy's past support for Me Too and women's rights, the statement rang hollow. This wasn't just a PR blunder, it felt like betrayal. And it led fans to a sobering realization. Was Katy Perry using feminism as a costume, something to wear for relevance, then discard once the cameras stopped rolling? The very movement she once championed was now accusing her of hypocrisy. And in today's climate, there may be no quicker way to fall from grace. That sense of inauthenticity only deepened when her second single, Lifetimes, landed in hot water. This time not for its lyrics or message, but for where it was filmed. Billed as a dreamy, high-concept visual rebranding of Katy's new era, the music video was shot on location in Ibiza. Surrounded by ocean cliffs, white sand, and golden light, the setting was meant to symbolize a spiritual and artistic rebirth. But that carefully curated image crumbled almost immediately. Spanish authorities revealed that Katy's production team never obtained the proper permits to film in Salines Natural Park, an ecologically protected area known for its delicate biodiversity and strict environmental regulations. Local officials were outraged. The unauthorized shoot was labeled not just illegal, but deeply disrespectful. Conservationists accused the production of damaging native flora, disturbing wildlife, and trampling over the very kind of environmental protections that celebrities so often claim to support in public. The backlash wasn't just about permits, it was about optics. Here was a pop star trying to reboot her image with metaphors of rebirth and love, while ignoring the rules that protect real-world beauty. Critics slammed her for elitism and carelessness. Social media lit up with accusations of rich privilege, arguing that had this been a smaller artist or a regular person, they would have faced heavy fines or criminal charges. Instead of headlines praising her creative vision, Katy's name was trending again, for all the wrong reasons. Fans began to question whether this new era was anything more than smoke and mirrors. Another glossy rollout tainted by thoughtlessness. Another step forward, instantly followed by 2 steps back. And the most damning question lingered in the air. Was Katy Perry truly out of touch with the world around her, or just too entitled to care? Unfortunately, that same perception of out-of-touch behavior kept snowballing. At one of her shows, Katy shocked fans by tossing slices of pizza into the audience. What was meant to be playful quickly turned ugly. Social media erupted with confusion, disgust, and anger, especially from fans in cultures where food is considered sacred. One user commented, "In Mexican culture, food is only thrown to dogs, never to people. It's extremely disrespectful." Others chimed in with concerns about hygiene, allergies, and basic safety. Some fans reported being hit with greasy slices mid-concert, forced to wipe sauce off their clothes and hair. Gluten intolerant and vegan attendees also spoke out, calling the stunt reckless and exclusionary. The internet wasn't amused, it was offended. What may have seemed like quirky pop star behavior 10 years ago now felt careless and detached from reality. At a time when Katy desperately needed a reputation reboot, this strange moment felt like another nail in the coffin. Was she trying to be relatable, spontaneous, funny? Whatever the intent, the execution came across as chaotic, inconsiderate, and wildly tone-deaf. Instead of rebuilding her brand, the incident became a meme, and not the good kind. It left fans asking a much darker question. Had Katy Perry completely lost the plot? Or had she stopped caring altogether? But if fans thought the pizza incident was strange, nothing could prepare them for Katy's highly publicized Blue Origin spaceflight. Billed as a symbolic journey of love and rebirth, the 11-minute suborbital ride was hyped as both a personal milestone and a promotional push for her album, 143. It was meant to signal evolution, Katy entering a new dimension, both musically and spiritually. But instead of inspiring awe, the stunt invited a wave of skepticism, mockery, and even full-blown conspiracy theories. Environmentalists slammed the trip as tone-deaf and irresponsible, especially amid growing concerns about climate change and the carbon footprint of space tourism. Critics questioned the morality of using a rocket launch as an album promo when the average person is struggling with inflation, rent, and real-world problems. And then came the bizarre post-flight interviews, where Katy spoke in cosmic riddles about being connected to love and creating a whole heart. At one point, she said, "I created a brain, a heart, a whole set of organs. I did it," referring to motherhood. But it left many wondering if she'd left her grip on reality somewhere in the stratosphere. One viral tweet joked, "Katy Perry's brain is still floating somewhere in orbit." Another read, "Her album didn't land, and neither did her career." What was meant to be a high-concept rebrand became the ultimate symbol of just how far Katy Perry may have drifted from the audience that once adored her. Instead of reigniting her career, the stunt felt like the final chapter in a bizarre series of missteps that left fans wondering, is this still the same artist who once ruled the charts, or just a pop relic trying to stay relevant in a world that's already moved on? Katy Perry has always thrived in extremes, larger-than-life visuals, eccentric costumes, over-the-top performances. But in 2025, those theatrics are starting to feel like distractions, not statements. Whether it's working with controversial collaborators, throwing pizza into a crowd, or launching herself into space, Katy now seems trapped in the chaos she once orchestrated so well. The question isn't whether Katy Perry still has talent, it's whether she can reconnect with a world that's already started to move on without her. So, is this the downfall of a pop icon, or could this be the beginning of her most chaotic reinvention yet? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're still with us after that mess, do yourself a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered celebrity chaos, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next train wreck. Hollywood's on fire, and we're just here to bring the popcorn.